morning to you. Whenever you're listening to this, maybe it's on your afternoon drive. Welcome to the Sports Page. I'm Mac McGee from the Armchair Quarterbacks, and away we go. Let's go ahead and dive into the topics at hand. First of all, there has been some movement on the University of Florida head coaching candidates, and there's been some reports come out. Not 100% sure if you can believe every report, but this one seems like it's got a little bit of steam to it. Billy Napier, who is the head coach of Louisiana, is becoming a top candidate for not just the Florida job, but also the Virginia Tech job. Now, there's 4 major jobs out there right now, and Florida and Virginia Tech would be on about the same level. I feel like Florida's a little higher. But then you have the next 2, which would be LSU, and then USC obviously is the number 1 job that is open in college football right now. Billy Napier, who has had a good career at Louisiana, has become the hot coaching prospect, and it might be the most logical one for the University of Florida. Get a guy that comes in there that wants to build something, and he appears to be a little more level-headed, which is the big thing. Mullen was just a basket case. And to move on from the shenanigans that Mullen brought in and bring in a solid football coach, Billy Napier appears to be the number 1 candidate. Of course, Virginia Tech wants him too, but I think Florida would be able to outbid Virginia Tech. And then also you have the allure of playing or coaching in the Southeastern Conference. Unless there is a tie to Virginia Tech that I'm not aware of with Billy Napier, I would definitely think that Florida would have the inside track to him. And it may not be the big sexy hire that a lot of fans are going to be looking for, but after the last few times of going after guys like Dan Mullen and McElwain and Muschamp, I think Florida fans would just like to have a guy who would be consistently good, a team that could compete for the SEC title, and a coach that wouldn't embarrass them. And so that's what you have going on right now in the world of college football. It's a lot of big things going on, but the number one thing is you have those coaching jobs in all likelihood are going to be filled out by sometime next week typically. After you get rivalry week out of the way, remember, a lot of coaches end up getting hired either that Sunday, that Monday, that Tuesday. That's typically when you get it. Now, I don't know if Florida will hire that quickly. They just parted ways with Mullen. So the big question remains, will they go out there and pull the trigger that quickly? But you can't sit around and wait, can you? Because you've got schools like Virginia Tech who are going to be out there competing as well. And if a good offer is thrown Napier's way, he's not going to sit on the fence waiting for Florida to pull the trigger. So they're either going to have to get in there and compete for guys like Napier, or they're going to have to do their due diligence, sit back, wait. All of that, the clock continues to tick because the early signing day period is just around the corner. Remember, that takes place in mid-December. So you kind of want to get your coaching staff going so that kids who have committed to Florida will stay, and ones that may not have committed to you, you have a chance to go out and recruit them. So I'm expecting Florida and Virginia Tech to have hired their coach by the end of next week at the very latest. Okay, Monday Night Football last night, the Bucs 30, the Giants 10. The game was much closer than the score indicates, but when it's all said and done, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers basically just methodically pounded the ball. They got a good running game out of Fournette and Jones. Ended up with 68 yards total between the two. The Bucs defense was much better, but the problem at hand, and it's got to be addressed, it's time for the Giants to do something different. Whatever it is, it's got to be different than what we're looking at now. Daniel Jones was 23 of 38 for 167 yards passing. 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown, and constantly looked like a deer in the headlight. Then the Giants, you look at their rushing attempts from actual running backs, 9 rushes. Because I'm not going to count the Ross, I'm not going to count the Jones scrambles. 9 rushes. 6 from Saquon Barkley, 3 from Devontae Booker. What the hell are you doing? The first thing that needs to be done, number 1 with the bullet, it's time to fire Jason Garrett. Terrible offensive coordinator, is not getting the job done. I know at one point everyone thought he was this great offensive mind. He's so damn predictable. He doesn't establish the run. They're constantly in shotgun formation. The Giants are a mess, and it is without a doubt, Jason Garrett's fault. You cannot run the ball 9 times and beat the defending world champions on the road. It's not going to happen. You're asking Daniel Jones to go out there and be essentially Patrick Mahomes. And it didn't work for Patrick Mahomes, did it, in the Super Bowl? You've got to be able to establish the run no matter where you are in the world of the National Football League. It can work sometimes in college with the loosey-goosey defensive rules that they have in college and the wide hash marks. But in real football, in the National Football League, it's not going to work. It's absolutely not going to work. So what we have here is, I believe it's time to part ways. Let Kitchen, who, remember, he had a little bit of success in Cleveland before it fell apart, which I believe was all internal. I don't believe it had anything to do with him being able to coach a team. Give him the keys to the offense. Let's see what he can do with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley and a pretty good receiving core. You've got 7 games left, and let's see what can be done. I don't believe the Giants are going to fire Joe Judge. I believe they're going to change the offensive coordinator, but give Kitchen the chance to see what he can do. Because as of right now, it is an absolute dumpster fire. The Buccaneers, on their side, they improve to 7-3. And I don't believe in any stretch of the imagination they're concerned about winning the division. I think the Bucs will win the division. I think they'll have it wrapped up by week 15. But the bigger picture is you're trying to chase down the Cardinals, and for that matter, the Packers, the Cowboys. You would love to be the team that ends up with the bye. The bye is going to be huge. And as of right now, they're sitting at 7-3. The Cardinals are going to go on a bye this week. So if the Bucs could get the W, they will then be a game behind the Cardinals. And they would be in a flat-footed tie, assuming that everyone else wins out with the Packers and the Cowboys. The Buccaneers, 3 losses, and this is the part that you don't like if you're a Bucs fan. Their 3 losses are the Rams, the Saints, and the Washington football team. And those are all conference games. So that could end up being a hindrance down the road. But that's the big picture if you're pulling for the Bucs, or if you're in the NFC race, is the Bucs got back on the winning end. They're going to travel to the Colts this weekend. Should be a hell of a ball game. And by the way, we're starting to get into the flex season. So over the next few weeks, some of these Sunday night games that are supposed to be will probably not be. And they will probably announce that sometime today for the Sunday night game a week from Sunday. Right now, it's supposed to be, I believe it's the Seahawks versus the 49ers. I believe that's the game that's supposed to be. That game's getting flexed. There's no way you want that. That's a garbage game. So we look forward to see what the announcement on that is. And real quick on the college football playoffs, we'll get the announcement tonight. And I believe it's going to end up being Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, and then probably Alabama 3 and Cincinnati 4. And then I think you'll probably get Michigan number 5. We'll see what happens to that, and we will react to that tomorrow. As far as other things going in the world of sports, Thanksgiving weekend is traditionally, it's not just football, it's also college basketball week. I love this week for college basketball. This is the week that you get all the conference tournaments. So take a look at some of the games that are going on. By the way, last night, real quick, Florida State won the Jacksonville tournament. They pounded Missouri into oblivion. Watched most of that game. It wasn't even close. Number 23, Florida beat California. And number 24, USC pounded Dixie State. As far as other games of interest, number 1, Gonzaga cruised, and UCLA won as well. Now today, if you're looking for games to pay attention to, 5 o'clock Eastern today, Wisconsin at number 12, Houston. That should be a fun game. It's going to be on ESPN. Number 14, Illinois is going to be at Kansas State at 7 o'clock. And then you've got Cincinnati at Arkansas at 9:30, and Gonzaga, number 1 in the country, at number 2, UCLA. That's a 10 o'clock tip. It's a late tip. But if you're up, should be a hell of a ball game. And obviously, all the tournaments will continue throughout this week. It's a lot of fun. You get the Maui Invitational and a lot of good basketball that'll be out there. You basically just have to check all your listings. Notre Dame is supposed to play tonight, late tonight. Notre Dame, 10:30 Eastern on ESPNU. That'll be in the Maui Invitational. They'll be playing the host team, Chaminade, who's always out there. Wake Forest is in action. Virginia, North Carolina. Some of your other big teams that you may want to pay attention to. In the SEC, you got Georgia. They tip at 5 o'clock on ESPN2 against Northwestern. South Carolina's playing. Number 13, Arkansas is playing. So a lot of big things going on, and you really look forward to a lot of really good basketball over the next few days. Now, as far as Major League Baseball is concerned, Buster Posey, who obviously just retired, and Trey Mancini are named Comeback Players of the Year. Great stories behind both of those guys. I would suggest reading a couple of pretty good articles on ESPN.com about that. And we're going to get more and more into the trade rumors probably next week, or free agent rumors, next week. So much going on in the world of football and basketball and everything right now. But we're getting closer to the winter meetings. And, of course, we're also getting very close to the CBA deadline. Now, we'll see what happens with that. But, like I said, I believe they're not going to lock out until after the winter meetings. But we'll see. We'll see. They may play a little more hardball to try to push up the envelope and get it going a little earlier. But you would think you would kind of want your winter meetings to be wide open. If you end up with a lockout in the winter meetings, essentially, there's not a whole lot you can do. At that point, you're just hanging out in Orlando and going and seeing Mickey Mouse. All right, so that's going to about do it. To keep these tight, we're not going to be able to do all these birthdays and turn back times all the time. So we're going to go ahead and jump out of here so we can keep this succinct and get you on your way. Have a great day, and thanks for checking out the sports page.
Take me out to the ball game.